Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 13th Annual Remembrance Day Ceremony at Mount Pleasant Cemetery, which is convened today by the Royal Canadian Air Force Foundation and hosted by its CEO, Jeremy Diamond. My name is John Wright, and I have the privilege of serving as both the Honorary Colonel for the Chief of the Defence Staff of the Canadian Armed Forces and the Chair of the Royal Canadian Air Force Foundation. To the Deputy Commander of the Royal Canadian Air Force, Major General Jamie Speiser-Blanchet, those in uniform from 16 Wing Borden, and the cadets from 166 and 188 squadrons, thank you for joining us at this annual vigil and for your continued vigilant service to our country and its grateful citizens. We gather here today to pause in our busy lives to remember those who have served in Canada's military and given their lives in the service of their country. Their ultimate sacrifices help protect the freedoms and way of life we enjoy today and sometimes take for granted. This is our moment during each year to genuinely reflect upon those who have passed in this great service to us and to remember that in addition to wearing a uniform, they were fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters who lived a much shorter life than they deserved. And while we tend to focus on those who served and lost their lives in both world wars, we must also remember at least 1,000 more Canadians in our armed forces who have perished since the last great conflict ended in 1945, in places such as Korea and Afghanistan, on peacekeeping missions in conflicted countries, in training mishaps at sea, by military attributable death by their own hand, and even on guard at our national memorial where an unknown soldier lies. We especially mourn the 20 Canadians who have died in active duty since 2014, half of which have been from the Royal Canadian Air Force. Wing Commander William G. Barker, VC, the most decorated military service member in the entire Commonwealth of Nations at just 24 years of age in 1918, as he remains today, lies in the mausoleum behind me. The inaugural executive director of the Royal Canadian Air Force, he also co-founded the first commercial airline in Canada, along with our waterfront air show, set many flying records, and even became the first president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, all before his untimely death in a plane crash in 1930 at the age of 35. As he was being buried up and carried up these very stairs, the 54,000 people who attended the funeral here witnessed a sudden rush of aircraft directly over the mausoleum, all 6 of them, over top of the rooftop, a tribute to a fallen hero and a salute to those who had given their lives in the service of their country. Today we will perform that same flyover salute to honor those men and women who have made the ultimate sacrifice for all branches of our services, our land, air, and naval forces, and hold close with honor and support their families and loved ones. In the shadows of silence today at 11 o'clock, let us also pray for the continued safety and well-being of our current saving Canadian Armed Forces, standing ready and on guard for us at home and abroad, especially the many who are in Europe, assisting those who are defending the liberty and democracy of Ukraine. And to our veterans, as the bugle gives up its final reveille for fallen fellows, may its echo call on each one of you to maintain a continued presence in our lives so that we may bear witness daily and not just once a year at an appointed hour to what is the mark of true valor and selfless service. For our sake, may you embrace this task with the words of Tennyson's Ulysses. And though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and faith, but strong in will to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
Thank you, John, for those beautiful words as we begin the ceremony today. Please join me in welcoming the color guard for today's ceremony, the arrival of Major General Jamie Speiser-Blanchet, Deputy Commander of the Royal Canadian Air Force, and please remain standing for the national anthem. Please be seated. Good morning, and welcome to the Royal Canadian Air Force Foundation Remembrance Day ceremony at Toronto's Mount Pleasant Cemetery. My name is Jeremy Diamond, and I'm founding CEO of the RCAF Foundation and your MC today. As we begin, I want to acknowledge the land on which we are meeting is the traditional territory of many Indigenous nations and clans, including the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. And this land still remains home to many Indigenous communities. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by the terms of Treaty 13, and the bonds and promises made in this treaty create a special relationship that is now 117 years old. Thank you for joining us today. I ask you to put your phones on silent mode so as not to disturb today's proceedings. The RCAF Foundation is grateful to the individuals who have helped with today's ceremony. We welcome from the Royal Canadian Air Force, Major General Jamie Speiser-Blanchet, RCAF Deputy Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Gabriel Dore, 16 Wing Chief Warrant Officer Rasconi, 16 Wing Commander Renee Van Kessel, 16 Wing Honorary Colonel, John Hall, Chief Warrant Officer, and Mustafa Kaya, 16 Wing Chaplain. As well, Honorary Carolyn Bennett, Honorable Carolyn Bennett, MP for St. Paul's, representatives from the Office of Rob Oliphant, MP Don Valley West, Jill Andrew, MPP for Toronto St. Paul's, Stephanie Bowman, MPP for Don Valley West, school trustees Rachel Chernos-Lin, Alexis Dawson, and Wei Dong Pei, Honorary Colonel for the Chief of Defense Staff Office and Chair of the RCF Foundation, John Wright, and veterans and former serving members of the Canadian Armed Forces and their families. We extend a very special thank you to the leadership and staff of Mount Pleasant Cemetery, who each year provide us with this cherished backdrop and setting for the ceremony. The many volunteers, including those from 53 Division of the Toronto Police Service, our Pipe Major Doug Swann, Bugler Rob Cuesta, and our wonderful cadets from 166 Bulldog Air Cadet Squadron. A special thank you to Vicki Allers and Jennifer Blake from the RCF Foundation. While this is a particular gathering spot for each Remembrance Day for the RCAF, it is truly open to every past and present military participant anywhere to join us today, and members of the public from far and wide to pay homage and respect to those who have lost their lives in service to this country. It is a hidden gem in this city, and we are honored to be here to host this most important event today with all of you. I would now like to invite Major General Jamie Speiser-Blanchet, Deputy Commander of the RCAF, to bring welcoming greetings.
Thank you, Jeremy. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, veterans, serving members, Canadians, families, friends. C'est un grand plaisir et privilège pour moi d'être ici parmi vous en cette occasion très, très spéciale. It's a very significant privilege and honor to be able to pay tribute to those who have fought, remember those we lost, and thank you, and say thank you to those who continue in service to the country. We must not lose sight of why we come together on November 11th and how important it is to pass on the torch of remembrance to Canada's youth. As an officer, a general, as a mother of young Canadians, I can tell you that that message absolutely resonates with me, especially in the context of contemporary conflict that we see every day. 2023 marks 78 years from the end of World War II, a war in which over 1 million Canadians bravely fought alongside our allies, with many who suffered great sacrifices. It's hard for us to imagine the horrors of war that they courageously faced in the name of freedom. The contributions of Canadian aviators, sailors, and soldiers have made a difference. Canadians like William Barker, a hero who lies in rest here behind me in Mount Pleasant Cemetery, is an example of such sacrifice and courage, and provides us the opportunity to stop and remember that heroism and the sacrifices that have been made. As mentioned, other things have happened since the Great Wars, and these are also important to remember and honor. Many of you likely have loved ones or know someone who fought either in Korea or perhaps in more recent wars in Afghanistan or served in Iraq or other parts of the world where there is conflict. The Canadian Armed Forces has maintained a continuous presence throughout the world with a strong commitment to global peace and security alongside our allies and partners throughout the world. I can share that the most profound lesson that I learned when I was serving on operational deployments in Haiti and Bosnia and eventually in the Middle East, it was just how truly fortunate I am to be Canadian. I believe that a pride in service to others is what unites those in uniform who serve with those who serve in other ways, and that by honoring military members and veterans on Remembrance Day, we find unity in that service. Let this ceremony serve as a reminder of the fragility of peace, and let us be grateful to those who still serve for the freedom we enjoy as Canadians in our beautiful country, while we work with our allies to ensure peace and security remains around the world. And today, let us remember the sacrifices of our veterans for the battles fought and the freedom won. We will remember them. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Commander, for those heartfelt remarks and for being here today. We very much appreciate it. Please welcome Mustafa Kaya, 16 Wing Chaplain, to offer reflections this morning.
Right, remove address. Right, stand at ease. Stand easy.
As we gather in this place of sacred memory, may these words I share now be for some the prayers of your heart, for others a reflection of your heartfelt thanksgiving, and for all, may these words speak to our duty to remember. Alors que nous nous réunissons à ce lieu de mémoire sacré, que c'est moi que je partage maintenant soient pour certains les prières de votre cœur, pour d'autres le reflet de vos remerciements sincères, et par tous que c'est moi témoigne de notre devoir de mémoire. Today is a time to remember, to remind ourselves of the past, to bring the past to life. Today is a time to remember that life in Canada, as we know, it is not a given. It is the fruit of the labors, the struggles, and the sacrifices of the past. Let us remember those who answered the call to battle and who never come home. Let us remember those who were wounded and who bear scars on their bodies, their memories, and their souls. May this gathering today bring them peace and healing. Let us remember those families braved by the loss of a loved one. Let us remember with gratitude the thousands of Canadians who decide today voluntarily to serve Canada before themselves. May our decisions and actions be imbued with courage and the values of peace and hospitality that make true dialogue possible. May our remembrance invite us to take action so as to choose diplomacy over violence and to choose to celebrate difference rather than exclusion. Lest we forget, n'oublions jamais.
Right. Right, attention. Right, replace address. Right, attention.
Thank you, Chaplain Kaya. We are privileged to have Romi Barel, grade 8 student from Hodgson Middle School, here today to recite in Flanders Fields. Romi?
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that Malco place, and in the sky the lark still bravely singing fly. Skulls heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow. Loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Thank you so much, Romi. Please now welcome Renee Van Kessel, Honorary Colonel 16 Wing, to recite the Act of Remembrance.
It is customary after reading the Act of Remembrance, after the last line that says we will remember them, for everyone in attendance to repeat those words. They shall not grow old as we that are left behind grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. We will remember them.
Thank you, Honorary Colonel Van Kessel. All please stand if you're able for the last post, followed by 2 minutes of silence, reveille, and the Piper's Lament. Please be seated. I would now like to invite those who will be laying a wreath to do so in this order. Please come up when I call you. The Canadian Armed Forces.
Right, stand at ease. Stand easy.
Okay, go, just go. The Royal Canadian Air Force. The RCAF Foundation. The William G. Barker family. Mount Pleasant Cemetery. '53 Division, Toronto Police. Toronto District School Board. Government of Canada, Toronto St. Paul's. Government of Canada, Don Valley West. Province of Ontario, Toronto, St. Paul's. Province of Ontario, Don Valley West. Hodgson Middle School. Thank you. For those that are able, please stand for God Save the King. Please be seated. It is on Remembrance Day that I think of the pledge Canadians made following the First World War, to never forget. To never forget the service, to never forget the sacrifice, and to never forget the important and vital role a then very small country of Canada made in the pursuit of peace. It is on Remembrance Day that we are reminded how quickly the conflicts of the past are slipping further away in our memory, while we watch today's conflicts unfold, which makes it ever so important to hold ceremonies like today, particularly with young people in attendance. It is your generation that will take the torch and ensure that it is kept lit in the future. It is on Remembrance Day when we also keep close to us those servicemen and servicewomen and their families who continue to serve both here in Canada and around the world, and honor the long, long tradition of service in our country. We thank them today and always. Thank you so much for joining us. You are welcome to place your poppies at the William Barker Monument. Following the placing of your poppy, for those that are able, we invite you to enter the mausoleum to pay respects to William Barker. To conclude the ceremony, we will be led by Pipe Major Doug Swann to the final resting place of 4 Air Force servicemen. You are all welcome to place a flag to honor the service and sacrifice of these individuals and others on this reflective day. Thank you again for joining us.